Good morning, everyone. It's Brenda Quintana, and I am live from my Beehive studio this morning. If you are watching this on YouTube, I am not live, but thank you for joining me anyway. And if you are live, and even if you're not, please feel free to post comments and questions while I'm doing this, and I will be popping back at the end of the video to check out all of your questions and stuff. And if you're watching this on YouTube later on, if you leave me a comment or a question, I will answer that as well. So welcome to everyone. Today is, well, it's the day after Labor Day. So it's kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of like when the whole year somehow begins for everyone. My son is starting as a senior this year in high school, so that's really exciting. And tomorrow, the holiday catalog starts. So I'm allowed to show you the cover of the catalog, and if you are a customer of mine, you probably have already received your holiday catalog. If you are a customer of mine and haven't received a holiday catalog, please let me know. I will send you one. And if you need a holiday catalog and you don't have one yet, please also let me know and I will get one in the mail to you. I'll need your mailing address to do that. Or tomorrow you can start seeing the catalog online as well. So you don't need to have a printed version of the catalog. There's a PDF version, and there you can also see all the products in the Stampin' Up store. So today's card is actually a sneak peek of a stamp set, or actually two stamp sets that will be in the holiday catalog. Normally I don't do too many sneak peeks because it's hard, because you see the supplies and you can't get them yet, and so I don't tend to do that. And I didn't even really intend to do a sneak peek, but I got the dates wrong for the start of the holiday catalog. And so we actually started picking cards out of the holiday catalog a week early. So I had to recreate the card that's in the catalog to make a photo for our Casing Tuesday Facebook group. So I actually have that card that I made. We are allowed to post cards and things that we've made out of the catalog. We're just not allowed to post catalog pages, so you won't see the inside of the catalog today. But anyway, so let me reiterate or explain Casing Tuesday in case you're new. Casing Tuesday is the day of the week. We pick Tuesday to pick a card out of the catalog and we give it a makeover. So some of us, we do a big makeover, some of us do a little makeover, and some of us just copy the card exactly. And we have a Facebook group where we have a bunch of bloggers that recreate the card, but the best part is when anyone wants to join us, and you can post your card on our Facebook group. You can find that Facebook group in the description of this video. So just go ahead and click on that link and ask to join, and we will get you approved so that you can join us. And then you can start posting your cards there as well. We do a new card every Tuesday without fail. So it's a weekly thing, and it's great for new people because it will give you a starting point, and it's a great thing for people that are more experienced as well because it will get you out of your comfort zone and you'll be able to try new things. So welcome to everyone who has joined me this morning. I'm going to turn the camera around so that we can see my work surface and we can get started on today's card. So let me go ahead and do that. There's my view this morning. It is sunny and it's going to be hot in Boston. We've had a lot of hot days this year, so that's kind of unusual. So let me first of all show you. This is the card that is in the catalog that we are casing. I can't show you the catalog page yet because the catalog starts tomorrow, but I pretty much copied the card that was in the catalog exactly. I just love the way the lemon lime twist looks together with, I think I used I'm pretty sure I use Granny Apple Green as the ink color on the Lemon Lime Twist, and it's just bright and cheery, and it's just a very cute card. This week's card was Catalina's pick, and I think it's a great choice. So I decided to do a Halloween card, and I also chose a bright color. I chose Mango Melody, which is my new favorite orange. My favorite orange used to be Pumpkin Pie, but Mango Melody is just a little bit brighter and happier, and I'm actually using Pumpkin Pie ink on here. And then I thought this little elephant was so cute. The only bad thing about this particular stamp, if you look at the sizing, this snowman is quite a bit larger, so I kind of added a few clouds in the background here with a stencil. So I'm going to show you how I did that. And I need to probably grab the name of the stencil too. But if you're looking for a supply list, if you look down in the description of this video, it will take you to my blog post, and that has the complete supply list, because sometimes I will say the name of something incorrectly on camera, even though I try and get everything correct, but sometimes I will. So you will have a correct supply list that you can click on my blog. So I'm going to show you how I made my card, and this is the stamps that I use, which will be available starting tomorrow. It's called Trick or Treat. Look at these cute little images. The dog with the witch hat and the cape, the little bird that looks like a ghost, the cat that is like a mummy, and the elephant with bat wings and a bat mask. And just cute little greetings like Batty for you, party animal. It's just a really cute stamp set. Probably one of the cutest ones I've seen in a long time. So I would definitely recommend getting this one. It's just adorable. The other stamp, it's not really a set. We call them stamp sets, but this is a background stamp. It is a single stamp. It is this buffalo check background, and last couple of years we've been seeing a lot of flannel on shirts and stuff, flannel shirts with the buffalo check pattern. So this is a really nice background pattern. It makes me feel warm and cozy, so it's great for Christmas cards, and also it looks great as a Halloween card too. So it can be warm and cozy, but it's a nice neutral background that you can use. So those are the two stamp sets. Those are both in the holiday catalog and not available until tomorrow. So let me put that card right up in the corner. And let me think. I think we'll start off with the main part of the card. So I've got a piece of Whisper White here, and this piece is 2 3/4 inches by 3 5/8 inches. And just a little caveat, this card is a little narrower and a little shorter than our traditional card. I'll give you the measurements for the card base in a minute. The reason for this, the original card actually was smaller because they cut part of the background check pattern off. So I actually made this card in the same dimensions as the one in the catalog. So I've got my little piece that I'm going to use for my banner, which is about a piece that's 4 inches long by 1/2 inch wide. So I'm just going to lay this on here where I'm going to put the banner, so I have an idea of where to stamp that elephant. I'm going to use Memento ink for that because I want to use Stampin' Blends, and we want to use Memento ink when we're using our Stampin' Blends. So let me just ink that up. And I'm going to stamp this little guy, you know, kind of in the center, maybe a little bit up from the banner. Trying to decide, maybe about right there. Okay. So then I also want to, let's go ahead and do the banner real quick. I'm going to take my triple banner punch, and I'm just going to scoot it down. I'm scooting it along the track right here. It's too loose to fit perfectly in a track, so I'm just bringing it down the center track, and I'm just going to eyeball it till it looks centered down here. And then I'm just going to give it a little punch. Oop. And that will create the little banner end. We're going to trim this in a moment too, but since I have this out, and I put my stamps away yesterday, I was so efficient. You know, usually I'll leave everything sitting out, but yesterday I was like, oh, let me clean everything and put everything away. And now this morning I need the same things out. So let me just put Batty for You on a block. I actually trimmed around my Batty for You a little bit so I can see exactly where my stamp's going to land. And I'm probably stamping this about 1/2 inch from the end right there. And let me think. Oh, let me do one more thing while I have black out. I have a scrap strip of Whisper White here, and I'm just going to take that little pumpkin, and I'm also going to stamp that. Okay, now I think I've stamped everything that I need in black. And then I'm going to come in, let me just set those aside. I'm going to come in with my stencil right here, and I just want to add some clouds. You can like pick and choose which clouds. I kind of just use these clouds right here. And this little guy, I actually put him a little bit higher than I did the other one. So this cloud right here is going to come off the edge a bit. I'm going to use a piece of scrap paper behind here too. And this stencil, let me grab my stencil. These stencils are called the Pattern Party Decorative Masks. So that is in the annual catalog. And then I'm going to use my gray granite ink pad. And I'm going to use a sponge dauber. And I'm just going to daub it in the gray granite. And then I'm going to pounce off twice because I don't want a lot of intensity. And then I'm going to come in and I'm just going to dauber over that mask just to kind of take away some of that white background in the top because my stamp's not as tall as the snowman. And I don't want it super, super dark. I think I'm a little darker than the ones that I did on the sample card, but all right, then you can just lift this off. Yeah, I went a little darker, but that's okay. And then actually I just sponge daubed just a little bit underneath to give him a little bit of a shadow. All right, so now he has a place to sit down on. Okay, and then I came in here with 2 colors of Stampin' Blends. This one is the Smoky Slate Stampin' Blend. So I'm just going to take this and use my brush tip, and I'm just going to come along here and just brush along and just color him into gray. There's a lot of gray on this little guy. So I'm just taking it and adding it like that. Do his little ear. And this little piece of leg down here. All right. You can go back in and do like a little shading if you want on the bottom. Maybe a little bit underneath the ear. A little bit under the trunk. A little bit under that mask. I'm just using the exact same color. That way it's not super intense. Then I'm going to come in with my light basic black, and this one will be available in the holiday catalog. It's not available today, but tomorrow it will be available. I'm using the light so that it doesn't overpower the stamped image. It's not quite as intense as the dark basic black would be. It looks kind of like a really, really dark gray, which is perfect to just fill in the mask to make him look like a bat. All right. Okay, so I'm trying to think. Okay, let's do a little trim job on our little little banner piece right here. And I just want this to stick off just a little bit, so I'm going to snip this off right about here. Okay, so I have those two pieces ready. For that little pumpkin, I'm going to take my light pumpkin pie Stampin' Blend. I'll use the bullet tip and just kind of come in and color them. I love these Stampin' Blends. Aren't they great? I think they are so awesome. They are really, they stay nice and juicy. I haven't had to replace any of them yet. I'm going to use this little 1/2-inch circle punch to punch out the bottom rounded edge of this. Punch. That just helps me get it started. And then I'm going to come in and I'm just going to cut that last little edge off. But this kind of, just doing that little circle punch just helps me get that bottom round piece done. And now we have that little embellishment piece that we'll use afterwards on the side. So let me put these aside. And now we're going to stamp the background check piece. So I've got my big background stamp and I'm going to ink it up on pumpkin pie. I went a little darker than the Mango Melody. I'll show you what Mango Melody looks like on top of Mango Melody, but I felt like we needed to go a little darker. Just like in our sample, I didn't use Lemon Lime Twist on Lemon Lime Twist. It needed a little bit darker of a green. So that's kind of the thing I decided to do with this background stamp. So I'm keeping my background stamp face up. It's easier to ink up like that. You can see that you're getting the whole surface when you're doing it like this. So put ink pad aside. I've got a piece of Mango Melody and it is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I'm just going to set it down in the corner because we want this corner. Now, have a look. You want to look for those bold squares because we need this bold edge because that's where we're going to cut it off. That's the way it looks the nicest. So I've got my bold down here. So I'm going to line this up with the bottom corner as best I can and lay it down on there. Then I'm going to take a piece of scrap paper. I'm going to turn this over and then I can give it some pressure and get that ink onto my stamp. Some people like to do this and like to press down like this. So you can do whatever way you like. I'm going to turn this back over. Now I'm going to lift off. And so there is my stamped piece. And so you're going to need to trim this down. And you can just do it on the Stampin' Trimmer, but you want to have 5 of the darker squares going across and 7 going this way. So it creates kind of a nice border. So take it to your Stampin' Trimmer and trim it down to 5 of the darker squares by 7 of the darker squares. And then you're going to need a card base, and this base is 10 1/2 inches by 3 3/4 inches, and then I scored it in half at the 5 1/4 inch mark. You can still mail this in a medium envelope. It is going to be a little bit smaller than a medium envelope, but it will still work. So don't worry, don't think you could create an envelope for it with your envelope punch board. But if you're mailing it, I like the that size that's of envelope, that medium envelope, because then you'll know that US Post will take that size. Then we're going to use some Tombow. And I'm going to, okay, my Tombow is clogged. Even though I just used it last night. Okay, you know my paper clip trick. I've opened up a paper clip and I'm just going to come in here and just declog my Tombow. Tombow is really good for adhering things forever onto stuff if you don't want it to release, because it will just bond with those paper fibers. I'm just centering this on the front of my card. All right, and then I need a piece of basic black to go behind my little elephant. So this piece right here is, let me try and remember, 2 7/8 inches by 3 3/4 inches. So it's just 1/8 inch bigger on either side, on each length than this piece right here. So I'm just going to add some Tombow to here. And I'm just going to layer this on top. Kind of a controlled layering, because I kind of want the same amount on each side. It is a little bit off kilter, and that's the way the card was originally. So I've done the same thing. If you don't like crooked layers, then just layer it normally. But I've done it a little bit off, tilted a little bit. So then we need to add our little banner piece. Just add a little Tombow on here. And I'm going to put this down about here. Maybe I'll slide it over a bit like that. This end's going to be covered up anyway with our little clip. So I'm going to use, these clips are called galvanized clips, and they are in the holiday catalog. So let me just grab one of those. I'm going to use a little bit of ribbon from, I love this ribbon. This one is called the Glittered Organdy Ribbon. It's so pretty and elegant. I'm just going to take a little piece of it and run it through my clip. Okay, just need about that much. I'm just going to run it this way. Just tie a little knot on here. Okay, so now I need to open this clip up a little bit, because I've got 3 layers of cardstock right here. If you're just doing 1 layer of cardstock, you don't need to. You can just slip it on, but it's really hard for it to slip over 3 layers without giving it a little help. So I'm just sticking it on there. If you've opened it up and it's like too loose now, I've got my pliers here, and you can just squish it back down and get it so it's, now it's really stuck on there. So you can get it so it's squished back down. They're a little bit malleable, but sometimes you don't have enough pressure with your fingers, so that's why I keep pliers in my craft room. You never know why you might need pliers, right? Okay, and then we're going to use some dimensionals. And you know what? I used up all my big dimensionals yesterday, and the other ones are across the room. So, oh, I know what we can do. See this edge of the mini dimensionals? Let's just cut some pieces into here, because we can use that up, right? I'm just going to create some little weird dimensionals here. We'll just use the edge of the mini dimensionals up, because that will work as well, right? And just add that right here, right here, and right here. And then we need 1 mini dimensional for the back of our little pumpkin. Okay, and then I'm going to use my paper piercing tool, and I'm going to use that to remove the backings. Yeah, it works really well. And I keep thinking that I haven't gotten the backing because they're so light. But if you kind of bring it in from the side and flick it off, it works so well. Let me grab this mini dimensional backing as well. Now it's stuck to me. All right. Okay, so then we just need to add this onto the front of the card. And I'm trying to center it, even though it's a little bit, the layers are a little bit crooked, like, so it just follows the style of the card. Let's just kind of stick it down on there. And then we need to trim off our ribbon ends a little bit. Like that. And then we just need to add this little pumpkin right here, like that. And that is the card. So isn't that cute? And you know, you could do this card with any of these little guys right here. I think it would look nice in purple. If I did it in purple, I'd probably use Highland Heather and Gorgeous Grape for this little witch one. You could do like, I think Mango Melody would look nice with this little guy right here too. So you could choose, I don't know what I would do the cat with. I would hesitate to do a black cat with this because the face wouldn't show very well. I'd probably do like an orangish colored cat, or a brown cat, just so you could see his little face better. I love black cats, but it's very, have you ever tried to photograph a black cat? It's very hard to see their face because they're, you know, all the details of their face are kind of in black, so it's also kind of hard to do a black cat image. So this one might be better done in like an orange cat or something like that. The other thing that I thought would be cute is you could also do this like as a Valentine's card. Say you do it like in pinks and have a little heart here instead. And then it could be baddie for you. Even though it looks a little bit like Halloween, I think it would look like a Valentine's Day card if you did this one in pink. So I thought that would be kind of a fun thing to do if you wanted to extend the life of the stamp set. But that is the card for today. I'm going to scroll up and see if there's any questions. And welcome to everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. Let's see. I really like how you trim a lot of your stamps to get a cleaner image. What scissors do you use? So the scissors that I use we used to have to cut out our stamps. So we used these scissors that we used to carry in the Stampin' Up! Catalog. We no longer carry these, and I'm trying to think the name. There's a special name for these scissors. I'm going to go look it up after I get off here, and I will post that in the comments for you if you're looking for those particular scissors online. They have a short blade on them, and they are really sharp. They are really, though, meant to go through that rubber and the foam. They're just are a really nice cutting scissor for that. So I just have mine from way back when we didn't have die, when our stamps weren't die cut and we couldn't pop them out of the original die cut. So I still have them for that. You can use other scissors as well, but these are the ones that Stampin' Up! Used to carry. And it's just nice. I even trimmed my elephant a little bit. If it's a stamp you're going to be using over and over again, those are the ones I tend to trim a little bit. I don't put the stickers on the back of my stamps because I find they don't cling quite as well then. So I just like to use that cling foam, and I don't use my stickers at all. So that means I want to have as much of that extra foam and rubber cut off, so I have a really good idea of where my image is going to land. I didn't trim my little pumpkin. I could have, but it's a very small stamp, and I didn't trim it. But for this greeting here, I just thought this is going to be better. I'll have a much better idea where it's going to land on that banner if I trim it. So it just depends. I don't trim all of my stamps. It's kind of just as needed basis. So that's just a little background information, but that's a good question. Well, thank you all for bearing with me here. I'm going to turn around for a second. let me make sure I don't land straight on my bottom. My chair turned around. You know, that would have been really elegant, wouldn't that have been, to land right there. So anyway, I hope you guys will join us on our Casing Tuesday Facebook group. I think this is a great one to try out in terms of it's got a nice design to it to do if you're use a piece of cardstock and run it through an embossing folder. That would also make a really nice background. And then you've just kind of got two big rectangular layers, and a lot of stamps would fit in that area. And then it's really easy to any greeting to come across there. So that is very I think this would be a great card if you're new and you want to give us a try. So anyway, I hope you guys have a great week, and I will be back here next Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time with another Casing Tuesday card. I hope you guys have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.